Most people think this was just a joke, a comedian on a stage, a punchline delivered, a politician getting angry. End of story. But if you look closely, closer than the headlines ever do, you'll see something else happening. This wasn't really about humor, and it wasn't really about offense. It was about power and who gets to define reality in public. Welcome to Moments Between, where the stories you think you know are never quite what they seem. It started at an awards show, a familiar setting, bright lights, applause, carefully rehearsed jokes. Trevor Noah did what comedians have always done at moments like this. He used humor to point upward, toward power, toward influence, toward figures who shape the world but rarely get questioned in the same room. One line landed harder than the rest, a joke tying Donald Trump to a world most people only whisper about. Not an accusation, a reference, a reminder. And that was enough. Within hours, the response came, not as a rebuttal, not as dismissal, but as escalation. Donald Trump didn't laugh it off. He didn't ignore it. He didn't treat it as satire. He treated it as a threat. Legal language replaced humor. Defamation, lies, consequences. The tone shifted instantly from comedy to confrontation. And that's the moment most people miss. Because when a joke triggers a legal warning, the joke has crossed into something more dangerous than insult. It has challenged control. Comedy has always had one unique power. It bypasses formal authority. It doesn't need evidence in the way a courtroom does. It doesn't need permission. It plants ideas in public consciousness without asking. And for people who build their power on narrative, on branding, on dominance, on strength, that's intolerable. This wasn't the first time Trump reacted this way. Throughout his rise, satire has followed him. Late-night hosts, cartoons, skits, monologues. Most politicians absorb that noise as background static. Trump never did. Because Trump understands something deeply. In modern politics, perception matters more than policy. If you lose control of the story, you lose leverage. That's why the response wasn't, "This is nonsense." It was, "This is defamatory." One frames the joke as harmless, the other frames it as dangerous. And framing is everything. Trevor Noah, for his part, didn't escalate. He didn't counterattack. He didn't apologize. He did what comedians do best. He let the silence speak. And the silence was loud. Because the real story here isn't Trump versus Noah, it's politics versus satire, in an age where jokes travel faster than press releases and laughter reaches places power can't. For centuries, rulers feared three things: organized opposition, economic collapse, and ridicule. Armies can be defeated, economies can be rebuilt, but mockery sticks. It seeps. It repeats. It simplifies complex power into something people can remember. That's why authoritarian systems always clamp down on comedians first. Not because jokes topple governments overnight, but because they erode the illusion of invincibility. And that's the uncomfortable truth beneath this moment. A joke on a stage forced a former president to reach for lawyers. Not because the joke was devastating, but because it reminded everyone that no one fully controls the narrative anymore. Not politicians, not institutions, not even billion-dollar media machines. Just the crowd, the laugh, and the moment after. This wasn't a scandal, it was a signal that satire still matters, that power still reacts when challenged indirectly, and that the line between entertainment and politics no longer exists. History doesn't repeat, but if you don't understand it, it'll crush you all the same.
If this gave you a new perspective, hit subscribe. The moments between headlines are where the real story lives.